In this video, I'm going to talk to you about things that the library can do to support you as a dual credit instructor in your classroom. Our job as librarians is to support students in their academic research, and one way we do that is by partnering with their instructors to make sure that they are in the loop about what we offer, what resources are available for their classes and assignments, and how they can reach out to us. So those are the things that I want to talk about today. Very quickly, I'll give you an overview of the different resources and services we offer that are relevant to you. And the first thing I want to talk about is Magnolia and everything else that we offer. You may be familiar with Magnolia. In case you have not heard of it, this is a great investment by our state government that makes a lot of academic type information available to anyone in the state at no direct cost to them. Now, you've probably heard of Magnolia because the librarians in the high schools around the state have done a phenomenal job of utilizing this resource. So the first thing that I'll note is that we do have access to Magnolia resources as well. However, I want to make sure that you know we have access to more than Magnolia. We purchase some additional resources on our own, and we have access to others through our community college consortium. So what this means for your students is that they have more available to them than ever before. This also means that you have more access to things that can enhance your course material. One good example of this is streaming film. I won't get into that today because of time, but we do have databases that can help enhance your courses by providing you with supplemental materials, videos, things that may help you illustrate some concept that you're teaching. So let me show you how to access not just Magnolia, but the additional resources we have as well. From the library website, I'm going to click the databases link in the blue box. And so this is going to show you a list of all the databases that we have too, whether they come from Magnolia, from Mello, the Community College Consortium I mentioned earlier, or it's just something we subscribe to on our own. One thing that you should know is that you can limit the database list by subject. We have a lot of databases here, 74 are listed, and it can be a lot to go through and try to figure out which databases are relevant to your topic. So if you choose our subject list, you can see the various subjects that are here and which databases are connected to those subjects. So if you're doing history research, these are the 22 databases that we recommend. And it's going to start with the highly relevant ones, and then at the bottom it's going to list some that are more generic in nature and have something on pretty much every topic. Another way that you can filter this list is by database type. If you need certain types of resources, say ebooks, you can see the 15 databases that have ebooks in them that cover history topics. While we're here, let me mention passwords. The key to figuring out what password you need is to look at the code at the end of the database name. So you can see this first one says Infobase. The second one says EBSCO. Through the library, you can get a sheet that has all of the passwords listed. So it will say, if the code is Infobase, use this username and password. Or if it's EBSCO, use this username and password. We can't post these, unfortunately, because they're supposed to be restricted to only people who are associated with Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. So note the instructions here on the right side of the page for how to find this list in Canvas. Additionally, you can call the library or email a librarian to get the password list sent to you. One thing that you can do as an instructor is post the password list in Canvas or anywhere else that you might post course materials, as long as it lives behind a password, something that only our students can access. And if you need a digital copy of our password list, just let us know. We'll be happy to send that to you. I'll also point out the search box on the front page of the library website. This search box searches almost all of the databases that are listed on the databases list we just looked at. This includes all Magnolia resources and some of the resources that we get outside of Magnolia. So that's a very quick overview of what databases we offer. I wanted to make sure that you are aware of that because a lot of people are not. And I'll just quickly mention that students in your dual credit classes are full students, just like any student that attends classes on one of our campuses. So they have access to any of the services on campus that they need from us, like checking out books and things like that. I do want to talk for a minute about instruction services. I mentioned earlier that we're here to support students in their academic research. One way we often do that is through instruction that happens both in the classroom and outside of it. So let's talk about in-class instruction for a second. Some of the concepts that we are available to teach include how to create a search strategy, information on citation and plagiarism, how to create a literature review. We can talk about the research process and the information timeline. We can give good tips on how to search Google in a way that is efficient and good for academic research, and also talk about how to evaluate information that you plan to use inside an academic paper or presentation. We can teach about the dark web, or sometimes called the deep web, and also how to read a peer-reviewed article. These are things that we often teach in classes. We would love to discuss with you what technology is available to us to make sure that your students get access to the same level of instruction as the students that are attending college on our campuses. So that's in-class instruction. But we also do a lot outside of the classroom to help students in the middle of a research project. One thing that a student can do is meet with us for a research appointment. As long as we are available, we'll take anyone that walks in. But if they're traveling to our campus and want to be sure someone is available before they get here, contacting us first is best. They can call, they can email to set up a time. And the same technology that's available to us to instruct your students on your campus may also work for meetings about research. Another service available to your students is our chat. This does not connect students with librarians at Gulf Coast. This is a service that we subscribe to that is manned by librarians around the world, and so it's available 24/7. So anytime that your students are doing research, if they need to speak with a librarian to get help maybe finding something related to their topic, or if they're having trouble using some of the databases and things on our website, they can use this to speak with a qualified librarian. If you go to the library website, you'll find this in the blue box by clicking the Chat with the Librarian button. I also want to show you something we have called LibGuides. LibGuides is something we use to curate library information around a particular topic, and I'll show you two examples of that today. You can access our LibGuides in the same blue box that we've been working in using the LibGuides link. The first example of a LibGuide that I want to show you is our Spanish language resources guide. We had a student asking about resources in Spanish so she could practice what she was learning in the classroom. That isn't how things are organized in our library, so it wasn't easy to pull things together very quickly for her. We ended up putting together a LibGuide of some of the different options available to her. This puts all of these Spanish language things that we have in one place so that she could easily browse it and find what she needed. We ended up sharing this with the instructor of the course so she could share with the whole class. If there's a topic like this that would work really well with whatever you're teaching, we would love to put together a guide for you. Another type of guide that we can create is a guide that is specific to your course or an assignment in your course. I'll show you two examples of that. This example of a guide is one that is more instructional in nature. It quickly lays out the research process and suggests some resources available to the student at each step. A guide like this often works better when paired with in-class instruction. So if this is something that you would be interested in, we should probably talk about ways that we can provide some instruction to your students as well. The second example stands well on its own. Here we have an assignment that is writing a research paper related to the writings of Jane Austen. And so we were able to pull together some library resources around Jane Austen in general and some things specific to the various things that she wrote. Here you're going to see links to books, to articles, and to videos related to the assignment. A guide like this works really well around a project with some significant research attached to it. Finally, I want to mention the Information Literacy Toolkit. This is something you can use to either create new assignments or adapt current assignments to incorporate information literacy concepts. I don't have a lot of time to go into what information literacy is or why you should include information literacy concepts in your assignments, but if that's something you want more information about, please reach out to us. This guide includes both assignment ideas and assessments for those assignments. So I'll wrap up with a quick overview of what we can do for you and then what you can do. We can create course and assignment specific information that will help connect your students with our resources. And we can explore technology options for meeting with students both in and out of the classroom. Remember, we are here to support the students in doing their academic research. We're here to support you as well in making sure that you feel confident and comfortable incorporating information literacy and library resources into your classroom. So what you can do is 3 things. First, give us plenty of notice. A lot of what we talked about today involves creating new handouts, videos, web pages, and other things like that, and these things take time. As soon as you begin thinking about incorporating either us physically or our resources into your classroom, you should reach out to us so we can help support you as best we can. Something else you can do is promote more than just Magnolia. Magnolia is fantastic. However, we pay for a lot of other things as well. Often the types of things that we purchase outside of Magnolia help provide better coverage in some of the places where we are teaching topics in the college, but Magnolia doesn't cover well. Also, we're able to get those things that help support you in your instruction, like the streaming film. If you want to talk about what other resources are available to you outside of Magnolia, please reach out to us. We would love to show those things to you. Finally, you can embed and link to the stuff that we create for you. We want to make sure that your students know what is available to them and can get to them easily and efficiently. And so we can help you with putting things in Canvas or linking in other places. If you do want to reach out to us to ask questions or talk about how we might work together to support your students, you can get in contact with us here. Go to About the Library, pick the campus library that you want to reach out to, and our contact information is available here along with our hours.